So what I like about the competencies is that when we are going into a topic, we know what's expected of us because we are given a rubric. Just like the other day in Spanish, she laid out like what E's were, MC's, AC's, and then N's. And so by looking at the rubric, I was able to like know what I had to do as an individual to get that MC, and like write more complex sentences in Spanish and using a like wide range of vocabulary also.
There are lots of ways to incorporate competency-based learning into your education. Like if you learn something, instead of just taking a test on it and like showing what you know, it's better to, for some students, it's much easier and much better to incorporate it into a project instead. If I learned something and I learn better like visually, personally, it would be a lot easier for me to like go and make a project and make a poster and or like show the teacher what I learned through like skits. That's a lot easier for me than it is to take a test.
It's more change the feedback. So the feedback with the rubrics have become imperative for the students to understand what it is they didn't get, the concept, the part of the concept they didn't get, their minor errors, major errors, conceptual errors. It's allowed me through formative work to inform them what they need to be careful of when they take the summative. You know, these are the mistakes you're making here, so you have to be careful of them. I suggested to my students that they create in each unit a list of the mistakes that they make, so that way when they go to study, they know the things they have a tendency to, whether they graph wrong or they, their integer rules they're not careful with, or they didn't copy.
This year especially, I feel more empowered to move kids forward when they're ready and to make sure kids get the supports they need to get like up to competency. I recounted the story in the faculty meeting of a student that clearly knew the material in our unit beyond my expectations and beyond where the other students were. So I gave that student the opportunity to show that to me. And now I'm looking for challenges to make sure that that kid is challenged in class and is growing and learning at their level. And I think that our current system as established this year has really enabled me to have those thoughts. I definitely had those thoughts in the past, but maybe I wasn't empowered enough with the system, the grading system and the assessment to really act upon it. Whereas now, it's all there. Like, I can, if I see a kid who clearly knows the material, I'm inspired now by our current system to say, like, do you want to prove it right now? Do you want to show me what you know? Because then I'll give you something else and we'll move on. And I think that that's like the most exciting part.